We're here today with Jon Gertner to talk about his new book, The Idea Factory, Bell Labs in the Great Age of American Innovation. Welcome to the deal.
Thanks for having me.
Give us an idea of why Bell Labs was important.
Well, if you look at the technologies we have today, Bell Labs didn't make consumer innovations. They made what would be called platform innovations. So the infrastructure of really our data and communications industries and infrastructure all go back to what was made here, starting in the 40s, but really up until the 70s and 80s. So there was no Bell Labs store in the way there was an Apple store, but if you pry apart any of our iPads or iPhones, you see the remnants of the technologies that came out of there. And that would be the transistor, which is really the building block for all digital products, these semiconductor lasers, which are essential to communications. Just the whole idea and the theories behind digital communications really originated there. And then there were all sorts of other things like communication satellites, silicon solar cells came out of there, and really the whole theory and planning for cellular telephones came out of Bell Labs too. So really our electronic worlds, this culture we have today of instant communications really was something that was thought about long, long ago at this one place.
You write a lot about this, about Mervyn Kelly, who in the glory years at Bell Labs ran the place. He developed a certain model for industrial research. And it's a model that still exists, but not in the same sort of form it had then. When people talk about stagnation, technological stagnation, you know, and they sometimes get nostalgic for this period. You know, would this work today?
I don't think the Bell Labs model would work today, except sometimes I think it might work in a moment of incredible urgency, where you wanted to create a kind of Manhattan-like project, or you wanted to, or an Apollo sort of mission, where you had sort of a convocation of great, great minds solving a very, very difficult problem, whether it's energy or health-related or something like that. But as for our sort of everyday corporations, I don't think it does. I think, as you suggested, it's very hard for companies to sort of fund the kind of basic research that went on there. They're moving much faster, they're moving leaner, and that Silicon Valley model, where there's kind of people switching companies like crazy and things happen very quickly, has been very effective. I would say, however, that the Silicon Valley model, it doesn't seem to have worked that well in energy, for instance. So I think it may be that we see limitations for what it can do that we haven't quite sort of explored yet, whether it's in energy or biotechnology or the like, and we see how far that model can be applied. And I think the final thing is that nostalgia is a really important word. I certainly didn't write the book so we could create another Bell Labs, but I do think there's something about that era. Maybe it's the mission or the kind of belief that long-term planning or long-term research with a far-off goal is very important, and it may be, and I think this is worth talking about, whether things have gotten a little bit out of balance, that Silicon Valley is very good at the short term and the medium term turnaround, but that kind of quest after big, difficult projects that take many, many years is sort of something we do, I think, less and less.